Hello everybody, $15. That is the price of the upcoming Seekers of the Storm DLC for Risk of Rain 2, which releases on August 27th. Yeah, you heard that right. Pretty much just a straight up stealth drop given how little marketing went into this DLC. Now, unlike the previous DLC, Survivors of the Void, this one is launching simultaneously on all platforms. Yes, console boys, you're playing the update day one. Let's go. Oh, and you also get a completely free upgrade to all the next gen consoles. You can get this DLC on August 27th if you fork over $15. So, what do you actually get for your money? Talking only the confirmed things first. 2 new survivors, the brand new Seeker and the fan favorite classic from the original game, Chef. At least 3 new stages, a good amount of new items. We've seen 7 or 8 in the trailers and dev diaries alone. At least 1 new boss, which is similar in scope to Mithrix. At least 3 new enemy types, and of course, new achievements and new unlockables. Now, this is not everything that's coming in the DLC. Just in case you missed it, long story short, a bunch of DLC stuff was data mined from a patch to the game, and this info was compiled into a document, which is no longer available. However, link in the description below to my video where I cover the most relevant stuff in that document. The gist of the info is there are potentially 3 new survivors, with the third one being the False Son, who shares his name with the boss of the DLC. The fact that this survivor hasn't been spoken about or teased in any form leads me to believe that either A, he's just not real and the leaks were wrong, or, and more likely, B, he's a secret survivor, similar to the Heretic, where you have to do something specific in your run, such as collecting a certain combination of items or reaching specific zones on a stage to then transform your current survivor into the False Son. Or he could simply just be unlocked by killing the False Son boss, and then he's available to be chosen in Survivor Select just like every other survivor. Who knows? All I know is that the rest of the leaks in that document were pretty dang accurate given the since released teasers and dev diaries by Gearbox, so it's safe to say that you'll also be able to play as the False Son in some capacity. Anyway, let's go back now to the actually confirmed stuff and get into more detail with the 2 new survivors, Seeker and Chef. Starting with Seeker, she's kind of like a hybrid ranged / bruiser character. Her primary ability is a ranged punch, with every third punch dealing higher damage and in an area. Her secondary keeps the punching theme and raises a giant fist from the ground to then travel upwards, dealing damage in a pretty large area. Her utility is basically a volcanic egg that starts to damage your health after a few seconds of travel. And finally, her special is a channeled meditate, which after a successful channel, deals damage in an area and grants a stack of a buff that empowers her other abilities based on the total number of stacks. The 7th and final stack empowers the special itself to revive any allies in the area. Yeah, have fun with that one, co-op boys. And for Chef, his primary ability is the same as it was in Risk of Rain 1. Now, the dev diary stated that you can recall the cleavers, which is a pretty big change from them automatically returning, but I'm unsure if this was actually how they function or if it was just like the wording in the script. His secondary is a short-range flamethrower. Please let us sprint while using it. Please, I beg of you, Gearbox, please let us sprint, guys, please. His utility is a dash that can be wound up to cover more distance at greater speeds, and his special deals damage in an area and coats enemies in a glaze, giving his secondary greatly increased damage against them. Also, both the Seeker and Chef are confirmed to have alternate abilities that can be unlocked just like every other survivor in the game, except for like the Void Fiend, I guess. Anyway, that's about it. $15 for 3 new survivors, a handful of new enemies, a new boss, like 3 new stages at least, and a bunch of new items, probably 15 or 20. And then if you're on console, you get couch co-op and a next-gen upgrade. You can decide if it's worth the money. Finally, if you did not know, this DLC was purely designed and developed by Gearbox, not Hopu Games. Gearbox owns the entire Risk of Rain franchise. Keep that in mind, as this is the first real example of what Gearbox has to offer, the Risk of Rain IP. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to check out my stream, twitch.tv/WoolieGaming, where I'll be streaming the upcoming DLC quite a bit. See you there.